Do you want me to mute or not mute?
Hello and welcome everyone to the PlushLife 2022-2023 reveal live stream. Just like last time, we got a lot of positive feedback about our stream and about actually doing it in stream. And so this time we decided to just go live again, so you all from all countries in the world can join, and not just people joining this one convention that we just happened to make our live stream or to our reveal. So as you can see, this is not this year's reveal. This is Leshy from last project, right? Not last year. This is confusing in this times. But this was our last project. And with Leshy together, I decided to read a few of your messages while we are waiting for other people to join. And when we feel that everybody is in, then we will show you what we have prepared over all this time. So yeah, I would say give it another 5 minutes or so, right? Can you be patient enough to do another 5 minutes of waiting? Leshy in the kitchen, yes. Charge your phone on the induction stuff. I can try, yeah? Okay, you guys are better than I thought in understanding what we actually did here. Yeah, this is the kitchen stream, right? We should make this like a thing to make the PlushLife kitchen stream here. And you could probably set the GoPro to narrow, because apparently it didn't. Or is that narrow already? Yeah, you remember a smaller field of view. That's the preview thing down there. But yeah, So, Benmar, were the teaser photos color edited? Okay, about the teasing, right? Did you enjoy the teasing? Because I think we had a lot of fun this week reading your guesses and teasing you with classic colors and patterns, and then some crazy colors, and then some even crazier colors. So color is the thing, right? Let's say if the colors were edited, which one was the original? That is the question that I would like to know from you guys. Do you have any idea if we edited some colors or if those colors go all on one project? We had a few guesses at the beginning when it was all white. We had Polar Fox and Ice Bear. That was actually pretty cool. Later on, when the colors started to show up, a lot of canines were in the game. And in the last 2 days, the chat more or less seemed to settle on griffin, bird, dragon. So I'm really curious what happens when you see what we have for you this time. So chat say, yeah, exciting. The teasing was enjoyable. Tease away, matey. I enjoyed the teasing. But now you want to see the end product, Austin. Yes, of course you want to see the end product. That's what everybody in this live stream is here for. The reveal, and that means basically, yeah, clock's ticking. Very soon. I'm actually pretty excited as well. Not about what I have to show you, I know this of course, but how you react. So this is actually pretty exciting for all of us. Scapo Balloon wants a deer. Okay. Colors flinging. Naughty. Yeah. 2 spots, maybe. You know. We have New Einstein, our photo god, basically. Don't let him hear that. Okay, but he is, right? He is pretty good at what he does, so you never know. Biodoggo, a mythical creature, for sure. Audio is 8 of 10 on mobile. LZ News 4 IV? What does 8 from 10 on mobile mean? Not loud enough, or audio is perfect, says Delover very movie. We are so getting trolled. Yeah, maybe you get trolled. Hoping for dragon. There's some horse in there as well. There's some hoopies here, right? And a marble fox. Okay. Akita boy hopes for a dragon. Avoid a deer. Okay. Sydney Roo, you want a lioness? Why not a Roo? You're a Sydney Roo, right? Bird, griffin, Haita. And maybe a skunk over here. Okay, that's all pretty exciting. JB, audio is fine on mobile. JB, if you tell me the audio is fine, I believe the audio is fine. You must know, okay? If you guys don't know, JB is the audio god in the same way as New Einstein is the photo god. So, yeah, I'll believe him. Okay, I think the user base roughly stabilized. We are right now at 148 people in the stream and settling there somehow. So I would say this is pretty good. We are also 10 past 8. Was roughly the time where we said we want to do it. So are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Because I would say it's about time to show you the PlushLife 2023 project. And this is it. This means you now know 2023's project will be Winston. Winston is a cuddle dragon, and you probably know him already because that's a design original from Foxfur. So not only is the species original from Foxfur, like the entire design, right? But he also made it himself in several ways, and he will tell us more about the story behind it and how we got to the decision to also make a PlushLife edition. And yeah, it was actually pretty funny reading your comments, like dragon. And I read like 5 different forms of how you can ride a dragon, right? And yes, we have color variants. So maybe I give you a quick overview over this project and give you a few specs. And after that, we just have Foxfur in a call to give us a little bit more story behind the lines, and also what makes this plushie really special, okay? So yeah, let's give you a roundup. Okay, you have seen the dragon already in a photo shoot. You have also seen there's different colors. I think that's the main highlight from this year's project. And this is a dragon that is actually 2 meters long, okay? So from the, let's say, horns or head tip to the tail tip, this is 2 meters. That is 80 inches for the Americans. And the weight is always roughly the same with us. It's in this case 6.5 kilograms or 14 pounds. And maybe we make the audio a little bit lower. Do you have the remote there? Can you make the audio lower on not you on stereo? Remote volume. Okay. So because I have the speakers down here, you might probably hear the music double now. So if you hear the music 2 times, that's because the speakers are shooting directly at me, and so I just think we need to turn the volume a little bit down. But yeah, what else do we have? We have colors, and you've seen, let's probably show you the coloration, right? So because we have seen the other one yet, and the coloration version, the black and white version with highlight colors, actually has a completely different pattern. So you can have an original one. We call it the original design because it's very close to, or exactly the same colors that we used for the original PlushLife Dragon. And we decided for the highlight one, we actually go a little bit more crazy, because this also allows you to customize it to the point where you can actually have your favorite color on him, at least if it's one of the 7 that we pre-picked. And you can see it's a little bit of a zigzag pattern here, a little bit more complex here. Maybe if you look close, I would say here, right? This is the close-up that we teased you with, right? Now you know where it came from, one of the few. And we also have a different eye color on the highlight ones, while the original has the classic yellow color that we have on most of our projects. We had blue already. Does anybody know anything about the blue color before? Let's see if the chat picks it up. But we had a blue color on one of the projects before. So this is basically the roundup. Maybe a few more facts that the PlushLife crowd already knows, right? So fur is the same as with the PlushLife Dragon, so a very short fur. Maybe I could even give you a close-up. Are we live with a close-up? Okay. So you can see here, this is the short fur that is super fluffy, that we also used on the Snapdragon, sorry, the snow leopard, the Snap, and also the original dragon, but also the fox had a few of these details in there. The wolf had a few of the short furs in there, so we really like this fur because it feels really soft and still allows to go into details. And this dragon is made entirely out of that. So at the beginning we had some of the projects where we actually mixed the fur, and some felt a little rougher and some felt softer. So we decided, even if it's hard to actually make details out of that fur because it's stretchy as hell and it stretches differently in both directions, this actually is a good fur to cuddle. And just like with all of our projects, this one also has a zipper on the back, right? So we are now here on the back, and we still have the zipper going that allows us, if I find it, to easily unstuff or stuff the plushie. And that means if you cuddle it daily, at some point it needs a wash, and we make this easy to unstuff, so you don't have to open the seam and re-sew it like you have to do with so many other toys. And that always prevented me from actually washing my plushies. And so we decided we give you a zipper to make this easier. So yeah, that's, I think, the roundup of these projects. Maybe we switch back to the real cam. I hear a click, I guess that's it. And by that, I think that we are ready to hear a little bit more on how this dragon, how this idea of Winston came to life in the first place. And I think we should hear right from the creator. So I give the stage to Foxfur, who joined us in a Discord call. Let's hope this all works. And he prepared a few pictures of his original Winston and all the stuff he did with it. So let's see what he has to say. Hello, Foxfur. We already see him in the webcam. So I think by now you can unmute yourself. Yes. Hello, Foxfur. Greetings to Denmark, from Lake Constance up to Denmark.
Hello.
So, and I would say, Foxfur, you have the stage.
It's my turn now. All right.
Yes,
thank you very
it is.
much. Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for joining this stream. And thank you even more so for being very patient. We know we've been a bit delayed with post-COVID effects lately. But we are here now. We are ready with a plush for all of you to enjoy. I'm just going to mute my friends here because I can hear them. Can I mute you guys somehow? I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think they turned the audio. Well, anyway, back in 2018, I was planning on going to MFF, and I thought I need, about 1 week before going, I was thinking I need a new plushie that I can bring on board the airplane with me for snuggles, but also give good nightly cuddles at the convention when I'm there. So I thought, what would be good for this? A dragon, I think, because a dragon has a long, slim body and a slim tail. So he could be long and give cuddles. You can cuddle his tail with your feet, but still not be very bulky. And then the pose should be easy to cuddle, like big spooning or maybe small spooning if you want. And easy to sit with, like I'm sitting with Winston right here. So I came up with this pose. I actually have a 3D model. I can show you quickly the 3D model. Here we go. You should be able to see that now if everything works. And that is his initial pose, the pose he has now, because it's just so great. You could be behind him and cuddle, or lay in front of him and cuddle. He can sit on your lap. You can cradle him. You can carry him on your back. It's like if you have his little hands on your shoulders, and you can carry him on your back, and his head is gonna sit on top of yours. It's gonna look so cute. So I only had 1 week to do this, and back then I made him my plushies based on a foam head, cast foam with the acrylic eyes. Didn't have any of that. I had casting foam, but I didn't have the actual mold, so I had to first make the model. As he's flashing in the background. Make the model, make a mold for the head, cast the head, and then I didn't have resin for casting the eyes. So I took acrylic glass, cut out in pieces, glued together in layers, turned them into a dome on a lathe, and then polished them all up. That took about a day to make just the eyes. And then, of course, the pattern I made in using 3D software, because that's easier that way. And that became Winston. I've managed to finish him just the night before going to MFF. I think at around 2 a.m. in the morning, I had stuffed him, closed him up, and I was ready to go. And here I will show you. I think actually that picture is right there. That is the first picture taken of Winston, just as he finished, sitting nicely on the chair, looking at us. And now Winston was finished, but my next worry was, would they allow him on board the airplane with me? Because he turned out to be a little bit bigger than he was supposed to. But if they wouldn't allow him on, I would have to rent a filthy little locker in some corner of the airport and let him sit there for a whole week. I really did not want that. So I went there, and luckily everyone was very excited to see him. They thought he was so cute, and we actually managed to delay the flight a little bit because the gate crew was excited about Winston and wanted to have a look at him. And then suddenly they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to get this flight going. Oh my God, hurry, hurry!" So yeah, that was quite fun. And then here we are on the next picture. Can I find that? There we go. Sitting with Winston in my lap on the plane, ready for takeoff. It was a very enjoyable flight, especially because I had Winston with me, and that is a 9-hour long flight, so it's a bit much to do without something to entertain you. But Winston made it a nice, cozy trip. Here we are at the convention taking pictures. Winston saying hi. Hi, I made it safely. Took a few pictures. Here he's posing all sassy. That was really when I realized how versatile the body shape is, because you can do a lot of posing with him. Not only the snuggling, but also the posing. You can sit just about anywhere. Sassy Winston. That is on the way home from MFF. I'll talk a bit about MFF. I was taking Winston into the lobby and showing him off. I didn't take any pictures of that, unfortunately, but I could only walk about 3 steps before someone would come over and say, "Oh my God, he's so adorable, we want to see him." And then walk another 3 steps and someone else would come over and want to see him. And then on the way home, we sat him in the seat between me and my friend Lee Fox and put his headphones on Winston, so it's like he's sitting watching a movie. That was really cute. So we got to New Year's and my neighbors came over. Oh, actually, he's having a coffee on the airplane too. That's my neighbor. He came over for New Year's, and she immediately loved him too and wanted to snuggle him while watching TV, which we see here. It's like, so even normies and elderly people loves Winston. He's got glasses on. And the year after we went back to MFF. You can see he's been snuggled a bit in his fur. And this is early in the morning, so Winston needed something to wake up on, a croissant and a kind of icy drink, I think it is. He looks a bit grumpy too, as you can see. And then on the way home from that trip, when the plane touched down in Copenhagen, the flight crew loved him so much they wanted pictures of him in the pilot seat because he doesn't have wings, so he needs a different way of flying. So they asked if they could have some photos with him in the pilot seat. I like that one. That one's the best one, I think. So I returned back home and eventually started taking commissions on Winston because I thought everybody loved him. Everybody wanted a piece of Winston. So I took custom commissions on Winston for a while. And as I did that, the demand grew bigger, and I started growing a little bit tired of just doing Winstons all the time. So I thought, actually, I'll just show you a few of the commissions that I did for people. Here we have a blue and a red guy, cute boys, and an orange one, black and orange. That's a little bit like the theme we're doing now with the customization. Brown boy, and a very vibrant, colorful. And the red guy. Love the details. And again, the black, there's a light gray, and then the accent, the red accent, as you'll also be able to pick an accent color for your plush if that's what you want to do. And after taking some commissions and getting a little bit tired of that, maybe, I thought there's got to be a better way of doing this so that everybody can have some Winston and I don't have to do the work. So I thought, how about making it a PlushLife project? So that's what we did. Suggested it to other guys. We said, yeah, we can do that as the next dragon. So that's what we've been working on over the past, I guess, 2 years it is now. But it's also been 2 turbulent years with delays and you know, workers at the factory being sick and shipping delays, all sorts of stuff like that. So now you got a chance to get Winston, but in PlushLife style with the embroidered eyes, and you'll even be able to customize them a little bit. Now that I'm not doing the custom ones right now, but you can have some customization with Winston. So yeah, that's how he came to be and how he became a PlushLife dragon. So I think now Athenian wants to say a few more words about the plush. So I'll send you back to him now.
All right. So before we switch the cameras again, maybe I have to announce that we have another little surprise for everybody who stayed. So stay tuned for when the camera switches, because here it is. A lot of people asked us for large plushies. Well, let's say PlushLife is a company that specializes in large plushes that will basically be able to give you a full body cuddle experience, right? And then there's some people who need bigger. And we started experimenting with that, with the husky the first time. And have made a few of these huskies more or less under the shelf. And with the wolf, we actually offered it a little bit late, right? But we did it already, just because we knew this is going to be something. And maybe some people remember my stuffing video in the old place, where I actually stuffed the wolf in front of the camera so everybody could see how giant, how massive this wolf actually is. There's a few funny stories about especially this wolf as well, because the way he found his customer was actually very special. But this time we decided we make the giant one available from the start. Okay, and here it is. So maybe you two guys give the big one a stage. Let me push them here. So what we do with large plushies is usually we do the length 1 times 1.5. And the length times 1.5 means, if you know math and physics, yeah, I know that stuff that we had in school, this means that the volume and the weight triples, okay? Times 1.5 is times 3 of a plush. And that's exactly what this guy is for. So look at his head in comparison. It's really hard to catch this on camera actually, because our brain messes with us if there is 2 exactly same shapes in different styles or different sizes. But this one is almost your bed, right? You could skip a sofa, you can just have him, right? And he will, you know what? Let's put the small one and a big one, and you will probably see it I'm surrounded by heavy plush here. You can see, you can actually cuddle him, right? And that actually looks pretty cool, right? Like the big one and the small one together. So, yeah. Tim Duro, of course, you will ask if you could get inside this. And I made some thoughts about it, and I think yes, you can. You could just mod it by yourself to get a little bit of a bigger zipper, or you just put a second shelf inside, right? That could actually work. It will not fit in the way a suit would fit because this is not made around a human. But if this is not your goal, then this could actually still work. Okay, what else does the chat have to say? So you guys like the dragon, or at least a lot of you do. Yeah, and some can't wait to see the project review, the project start. And we got a new follower as well. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you will see a lot of media with this dragon. We will gonna try to make some of this stuff happening that Foxfur already experienced, like the plane, the passenger seat on a train or on a car. Bring him everywhere you can. Schecter, big size and different colors available as well. Yes. So basically there's 8 colors of this guy, and so this times 2 because the big one will be available in the same colors. I hope you don't overdo it with that, so please calm with us. It might also be actually a bit of a challenge. So what we do is we will try to get a bit of an idea what colors people prefer and pre-order the highlight colors and some fur already. Because as you know, supply chains are heavily interrupted right now, even though for the fur it's actually pretty good because we don't have microchips in here. It's not too bad, but still it can always have a hiccup. So I want to have this as early as possible. And the factory that works together with us on these plushies is actually surprisingly busy now that a lot of people order plushies back in Germany. So we also have to align with them to get the production ready. So deliver times is something that I still don't want to make a promise on. So you should be a little bit patient. It's also in a way that when we start the project, the ones that order an early fur or that order and pay first will also the first ones who get made and delivered, okay? So the earlier you order, the faster your chance of having it is. If this is available or not, or if this comes quickly or not, this is still stuff that's a little bit on the horizon. So we are in discussions with them right now and see if this is possible. There is a question, what is the price? The price will be roughly the same like with our other plushies. So we will still have to verify on this, but it's likely to be in the range of 860 to 950 euros if you add the shipping to it. And maybe you want to type what is 900 euros in US dollars, for example, in Google, because what you will see is that the euro right now is a relatively weak currency, which comes in favor of everyone outside of Europe, because for you the plushies actually get cheaper at the moment, and you can use that at any time. But especially now, there could be a time when the euro starts rising again, and probably very soon. And because of that, it's probably also a good idea to order early in order to make the best out of the weak euro that we have right now. But that's a personal gamble that you can also have a different opinion on. Correct. Avoid. The euro is currently in a one-to-one parity with US dollars. And with the last plushie, I think with Leshy it was €1 bought you $1.2. So quite a difference. It's 20% different in price, right? So we have that out of the way. There was another question, Matt Hazel. You asked, when can we order? Our order phases usually start in January and last till May. This year we still have a little bit of stuff to do, so I'm not sure if we can make it to start at the beginning of the year. I hope we do. So plan is to go live in the second weekend of January. But I'm not sure right now if we can make this goal, because on a business end we have still quite a bit of stuff to do. So yeah. All right. Oh wow, we are back to 114 viewers, which means one thing. We have another thing that I would like to show you. And let's see if our servers are already calm to us, because of course now with the PlushLife reveal we also went live at our new website. I'll just take the mouse over, is that okay? Good, let's see if this actually works. Because if I press... Am I live? Okay. So we are taking the time to share the screen. Sorry. And fighting with the one mouse on this streaming laptop. All right, you can see we are not doing the streaming every day, because otherwise this would be a practice team, but this is all like very spontaneous actually. With the update to Winston, we also of course updated the website. You can also see here prices. I made the range a little bit bigger just to be sure. And first off, we have the same layout as we did before, right? You have the 6 highlights or features, where we probably make a gallery out of this, so you have a few more pictures, because we made so many more that we will fill Twitter with in the next days. Here you can also see the coloration, right? So these are the color options from the video. We will of course also upload the video on YouTube. It's not yet there, but we will push it up there after the stream. So you can see here, these are the colors that are available in this fur, right? So you might wonder, for example, with the green, this was a little bit of a compromise. I wanted to have like a radioactive green here, but it's simply not available, because that fur that we are using is from the fashion industry. And so it's mostly fashionable highlight colors here. So they have tons like of grays, browns, and natural fur color. And only a few highlight colors. But I'm really happy about the ones we have, like a yellow, a very warm yellow. We have this orange that the sample is already made from. We have a very vibrant red and blue, a light blue, and we have this beautiful purple here that also works. So this is there. You can also see the giant one, right? Which in my opinion just makes the standard one that is 2 meters long look very small. But yeah, so essentially I hope you have a chance to experience the big one in real life. I'll try to squeeze it in the car, because you just need to stand in front of it. You just need to see they can actually fit on it, right? To understand what this actually is of a plush. But now comes the part that is actually new. So when you scroll further down, we got a lot of questions in the past. How do we actually work as PlushLife? Because most people run an online shop, you buy, you get, and it's done with it. And that is good, and this is fine for small things in a high variance, right? Where you can put this all in stock. With PlushLife, what we do is something that's called group buy. So we collect orders first and then make them in a whole bunch, or by now make them in 2 production lots, which means they get a lot cheaper this way, simply because they can work more efficiently, and we can still have all these details and all the high quality and individuality that we want from these plushies. So group buy is the way to go here, but this is highly unintuitive to people who are not used to it. So we show this here, that we are starting with a presentation, then the order phase starts at the beginning of the year. At some point we close and start the production, go into delivery, and then we are waiting for the next phase to come, right? And here is the map that tells you all the time where we are and how we actually work. So I hope this helps to clear up a few things. Now also we got a lot of questions about when was the shepherd actually, or what was the second plushie we had? So if you click on history now, we show you the history of PlushLife, right? That we basically started in 2014 with the idea. We have the shepherd, dragon, fox, snow leopard, husky, crossfox, wolf. Yes, I'm reading them all. And we had this pesky little paws last year. And you can even click through that. There's a few pictures behind that give you a few ideas of how the plushie actually worked and looked like. And now you also get a date to it, so you know when this plushie was available and get the order right, basically, right? So here's the history. And we have again on the Get One page, we basically just scroll down to the current project again. It's probably working this way. Yeah. Okay, so when you're on the main page and you click on Get One, then you're just basically down there. Last thing we added that I also wanted to show is we have an FAQ now. And the FAQ gives you answers to the most prominent questions we got. And we hope to give you a nice little answer to that, so you don't have to wait, or you don't have to use our message board just for the standard questions you might have. There is even, and this is very important in my opinion, the section, how do I clean my plushie? Okay, so very important, this is down here in the FAQ section. And we actually link to the video of Foxy Fox from the Leshy World Tour, where he is washing Leshy before he went to his last stage. And so, yeah, I hope that this gives you a lot more information than we had here before. And with that, I think we can go back into the stream. And yep. Okay. So now I just need to steal your mouse one more time to get my studio back and my chat back. Because otherwise I feel very disconnected from you people. So, okay, I'm done. You can have the laptop back to you. All right, perfect. So let me follow up on the chat because I could not see that yet. Yeah, the giant wolf was around 2.5k actually. So yeah, and let's see, this will roughly be the price of the giant dragon as well. Which, if you try to look for giant plushies like that on the market, is actually a pretty good price, right? So there's like stage or studio plushies, and they have this size, but they are usually stiff as hell and very rough fur, so they're actually cheaply made. But you still pay the full price because you pay the low quantity, right? So this is not group buy, this is just standard make to order stuff, and they are easily 10k and more. And this was frustrating to us back in the 2014 days. That's why we actually started, because we wanted to make plushies in the same size that don't only look good, but they are good to cuddle. And this is something that I think is really, really well achieved with these. And even with the big one, if you are really looking for a big one that looks good and is robust to cuddle, there's very little options on the market that give you such an experience for that price. So I think this is actually a good value. And yeah, so how much is the pause model? The pause model, Tim Doro, costs you a cuddle, right? To regenerate all the nerves that we lost in last year and with certain other stuff. So there's a few more things here. Ravenous Eye. Sorry for ruining your name in audio. Yeah, there's a few more news that we are working on in the background. For example, we will have a web shop setting up. So we won't have the manually coded order system that we had before. We're trying out a web shop this year. So I really hope that this works out well. And payment options will have a downer for you. We used PayPal in the past, and this peculiar payment service has made it indirectly very clear that they do not like business models that are based on group buy. They are a payment service that wants you to send out the goods that people purchase the next day and expect you to have them in stock, because that gives them the opportunity to not pay a lot in risk management if the seller would not deliver, because otherwise they promise their clients that they will have a cash back for 6 months. And so this is more or less an empty promise. They actually want to have this cashback risk out of the way on the next day. And that's what their business model is driving on. And if you know PayPal, then you know what we had to suffer through, because they didn't tell us that. They just blocked our money, right? Or your money, that blocked us from actually producing walls. So that was actually a pretty tough thing for us. We actually had to use a lawyer to get our money back, and that worked. So they knew they were not in their rights, but they would still try to do whatever they want not to pay us, right? And so just with the very, very believable and immediate threat of landing in front of a German court, they started acting. And that is something that, to me, as somebody who runs this business in his spare time, and all of a sudden being like blocked for months trying to deal with that is something that I cannot handle, right? Which means inherently PayPal will not be available as a payment option from now on for PlushLife. It's just not working out. And that means for the international buyers for Europe, it's mostly SEPA, like bank transfer option. For international buyers, it's practically credit card, okay? So I hope this works out. There's still a little bit of open questions about the payment providers we use and double opt-in, or sorry, in this case, it's two-factor authentication, right? Sorry, I got this one wrong. But with credit cards in Europe, you now have to have two-factor authentication, right? So you make a credit card payment and they send you an SMS or a second message on a different device, and you need to check that as well. And I'm not sure if this is already mandatory in the US. If it is, if you have it set up, then everything is fine. But our payment provider will likely have to force two-factor authentication. So I hope that this will not be too much of a trouble, but we'll try to figure it out, right? And we will also check if we have different payment providers who might join in at a fraction of the costs of PayPal and the fraction of the risk management, and actually somebody you can call and they respond and they act professionally to you. So it will be a lot more work, and it might be a little bit less comfortable for the customer, for you. But at the end of the day, I think we are all better off skipping PayPal for deals like that and for businesses like that. They're just not able to handle that. Okay, so that was the other news, webshop and PayPal. And do we have something else here? I have actually some facts. No, actually, this was it. So, by this time, almost an hour in the stream, yeah, we can have a little bit of a Q&A session. That's what I wanted to close the stream with. So basically just, yeah, I probably just sit down here. They want to lift it up to what? Next to what? So, okay, now you see me on the sofa with a big one, okay. I think a human next to it is usually a good size reference, right? So if I'm sitting here with you on the sofa and hiding behind the plush, you can see how big this actually is, okay? So this is massive. Yes, size comparison. Yeah, big. It is big. It is stupidly big. Ugh. Let's check if I can hold my face here so you can get a little bit of an idea. Oh my god, he's huge. Yes, that's the point, right? It's so hard to catch this on camera. Let me just stand up here. I'm probably out of the screen now. Yeah. We can set him here. So, yeah, this is quite a bit. So, big ones, all the ship without filling. What we do with the big ones? Where did I go? Yeah, here. You can also post him. This is something we missed in the live stream, but here he can actually be a bit of a mean guy. So yeah, I think you could make a lot of weird things with Winston, but the big one looks a little bit, how is it with the stuffing of the big one and the shipping? So this big one is 20 kilos, that is 40 pounds, right? 3 meters, 120 inches in length. However, the length with this tail is an easy measure. Oh, it's very easy to actually get records when you have a tail like that, right? But what we usually do with the big ones is we stuff them as much as fits in our box, which means roughly 1/3 of that is in there. So you have to still pay for a roughly 20 kilogram package. And what we will stuff is all the hard stuff, or all the stuff that is, all the details that are hard to stuff. Yeah. So like the hands, the face, it's usually something that is a little bit more model work, or like the horns. What we will not stuff is the main body, right? So basically he is empty here and then sorted into this box somehow. And so what you need to do is you need to buy some local, roughly, yeah, let's say you will probably also have like 5 kilograms of stuffing in there. So we'll have to buy another 15 kilograms of stuff, so 2/3 of his weight in stuffing. And then you have to add it, and you will be surprised how much stuffing that is and how much of that just disappears once you're putting it in here, because stuffing works like a spring, right? You compress it, and this is what gives you this nice feeling of a tightly stuffed plushie. And that also means you have a lot of volume at the beginning and very little at the end, right? So yeah, the stuffing experience is part of the experience. And it's usually easier and better to source the stuffing locally than for us to send it to you on the way. So this is why we usually do it this way. But if you really feel like you need the stuffing sent by us, we can also make something like that work. But if somebody said it looked a little understuffed, then I might have overread this. This one could actually get 2 or 3 kilos more, right? So he has like a little bit of a wobbly head, so that it could actually get a little bit more here. And so there's like a few kilos missing, because even a factory underestimated how much stuffing they usually pump into toys, because they use a stuffing machine, of course, right? So you never know how much amount you actually put in here. Yeah. All right, so let's see if you have a little bit of a question. Body Tiger, definitely trying to get one big and one normal. Yeah, that would be a nice combo, I think. Oh yeah, visiting the post office just to be told to order less stuffed animals. Kizu, what did you tell the post office already? But yeah, actually sometimes there's a retour because something goes wrong in shipping. And so my local post office usually gets to know big boxes very quickly. And at some point you talk about them, of course, right? Could you hold the normal one too for comparison? Of course. So this is the normal one. Okay. So does this give you some feeling of a size? Raven's Eye. I want the giant one, but I don't have 2.5K. So you have time till mid next year roughly to save up for it. So if you're really disciplined, that might actually work even if you're a little bit low on money. But still keep in mind, these are luxurious items, right? So you should never suffer financially from buying these. Food, car, living room comes definitely first, okay? So, I mean, I'm a business guy, I should tell you should buy this whenever you can, but actually there's some responsibility that I also think we should all have. And so yeah, keep in mind, luxury item, buy it when you can afford it. Instead of the gym, you can work out by carrying big plushies like Winston. Yeah, and you can actually switch the weight from the 1/3 weight to the full weight. Yes. When will these be ready to order? Roughly in January. There needs to be a small version, but this is basically it. Okay. No, it's really the way we make them, the way we manufacture them. They get increasingly less in price value the smaller you get, because we are manufacturing them in Germany. And so with a smaller toy, there's still like most of the work in it with a smaller plush, but now you want to pay a lot less. And so at the end of the day, there's a point where you don't want to pay the price that you would need to pay for the small one, because it's just smaller but takes the same amount to make. And the material part is still a very small amount in the plushie. So most of the value in a plushie is still the handwork done by the people. If you want to know more about the factory, we actually made a how-to video, or let's say how it's made video with Leshy. So you can actually see the workers in action working on Leshy in our video. And this gives you roughly an idea what it means to make one of these. So this is a completely manual process still, just in a way that they are a factory and not a single person doing them. So let's read a little bit more of your chat. Perfect size for snuggles. Yes, that's the idea. The normal one is the snuggle toy. Will we be at Entrocon? Hard to say. Hard to say. The Entrocon is usually out of our order phase. Order phase runs till May, and that means Entrocon in summer is usually a time that is useless for us to present a toy, because that's when we make the new project, right? And then we have a live stream in autumn, just like now, and so there's a break in between. And this is exactly where Entrocon is happening. And so I never had the... I never saw a good reasoning to, or a good excuse to pay for the Entrocon if I could use the same money for MFF or Confusselt or TFF just to show them around, right? So let's see. I still want to visit Pittsburgh. So out of private, I actually want to do this. Just out of the PlushLife company, it's a tough spot. So what else do we have? You guys filled up my bed with extra large Wolf prototype. Now I don't have the space for Winston. Unless, yeah, you need to stack them. That's the only way. It's over here. In order to make this sofa purely Winston, my bedroom is practically unusable right now. So you can imagine what usually happens around here. They're also very good for muffling or dampening audio, right? So in an environment like this is actually a really, really practical thing to have. It looks small with a huge one in screen. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel. You have this giant dragon here, and it just makes the small one, well, it just makes the standard one that is freaking 2 meters long look small, right? It doesn't actually look big, it just makes everything else look small, because our brains somehow cannot process that something like that actually exists. And this is exactly the feeling that you have when you are standing in front of a giant plush like that. This is this moment of, oh my god, I cannot believe this is existing. I want to feel it. I want to throw myself on it just to feel how it feels to dive into this plushie with my whole body. Yeah, just because it's so unreal, right? So, size comparison with the other PlushLife project around in the house. The one that we have around in the house is in the kitchen. So let me just get it. Let me get a Leshy for you. So here's Leshy. And Leshy gets to play with a dragon now. So this is Leshy, okay. Yeah. Roughly like that. And this is Winston. So you can see they are more or less the same. Winston is even a little bit longer. Of course, he's spread out differently. But yeah, that's mostly the size. So the size is very similar. The weight is also very similar, actually. Of course, Winston has distributed the volume more in the middle, while for the wolf is very evenly distributed, right? That's him. All right, now it gets really plushy in here. So what else do we have? Will it be at Nordic FastCon in February? Yes, we will. And definitely bring at least one. We are still not sure if we drive or if we use the plane. And yeah, this basically makes the decision if we bring more. The video of Leshy inspired me to start making my own plushies, just like PlushLife. You're my idols to look up to. Thank you very much, dear Lover. I hope your plushies will turn out great, and I hope you will enjoy making them. I do want the big one. Just want to know I'm able to afford it by the time it goes live, so I can settle with the normal size. Yeah, let's see. Alice Laird? Yeah. Let's see if you can. Just have the space for a giant one. That's a good attitude. So I can scream to it. Yeah, Foxly Fox. Just solve it by moving into a bigger house, right? That's always a good idea to get more plushies in. Yeah, who needs audio foam if you can have Winston? Actually, price-wise, they are very much the same, right? Because audio foam is just horrendously overpriced for what it does. And in my old place, you probably remember the corner shelves where I put my plushies in. And they actually had an audio component to it because they were designed in a way bass traps were designed. And with the size of these plushies, this would actually work really, really good as a bass trap. Over here in this new place, let's see. We are still not really sure how we actually style this place completely. Yeah, so medium, no, we stay with the two sizes. This will already be 16 different variants. So let's see how good we can actually handle these. My bedroom stuffed with plushies, a bedroom tour would be neat. Austin Chambers, to be honest, for that I would probably inspect this room a little further before I put any live camera in there. Nice PlushLife. Leshy, yes. It's the exact same when first meeting fursuiters. Enner, yeah. So you probably had this experience just a little bit ago. If you meet a fursuiter, which is practically a big plushie, right? It's the same thing. You cannot believe that it actually exists and interacts with you, and you can cuddle it and it's soft. And if there is no fursuiter around, you have now a fursuiter-sized plushie that basically serves you as your daily cuddle. That's mainly the idea. Mini Leshy, yeah. Yeah, it's actually looking small now with a big dragon around it, right? Before, this is the same Leshy from the kitchen, right? I just got it from there. So this is not a smaller one, right? So you need to manually try to trick your brain into making it bigger, but it doesn't work. It's like an optical illusion. You know it's an illusion. Your eye and your vision system will still tell you differently, right? And that's the same with plushies. So you have to see it live. That's why we bring them to conventions to make this experience experienceable. Reading names. I'm sorry if I misspell your names. You're right, but Rena Sard? Oh, beautiful dragon. You would love to get one. Yes, you should. You should. Pre-order as soon as possible. That's a good idea. Giant Leshy with Giant Winston. Botch Freebark. If we want to do this, we have to come to your place. I do not own a Giant Winston anymore. What I got and what I keep is a Giant Husky. That's Cookie, and that's my private Giant Husky. But the wolf that I stuffed just made his way to the US. Yes, Slate the Snapsel. You got the prototype with a large one. Probably the wolf. Yes, that's good. Denim Wizard. Yes, gonna need a bus to get to a convention. Yeah, definitely. So I'm actually tempted to drive to Nordic FastCon, which basically elongates the trip for 2 more days, because it's actually 1,200 kilometers from here. Pretty long trip. But maybe we make a few stops in between, make a few photos. So this would be worth it, even though it's winter. So let's see how this works out. Yeah, I could bring a couple others to NFC. Honestly, I need a bigger car. It's really, really hard. Because Winston, if you put a giant plushie like that in your car, it's full, right? There's no place anymore. And this is again where your brain tricks you, because it's not experienced in handling sizes of this scale. And so it will tell you, yeah, it's nice, it's sitting here, so you can also put it in the car. And then you put it in the car and there's nothing left, right? So when comes a herbivore? And now that makes me think if we ever made a vegetarian plush, and we didn't. Yeah. Kamunyak, that's actually a good question. A herbivore. So Foxfur, if you're still listening, maybe you should put this on the list somehow. Akita boy, glad you love Winston. Glad you like it. Spotty Tiger, you would like to make a collab of a plushie and a pool toy at the same time. That's probably something that you need to talk to Foxfur to, right? Maybe he feels up for it or not. I mean, creative work is something that you cannot force, right? So when he gets the hunch, when he feels like this is something he can work with, he might say yes, or he says like, yeah, this is not working out for him, right? And then, yeah, but this is definitely something you can try to talk to him, or you can try to talk to Foxfur and see if that works. Definitely a cool idea. Close-up of the adorable face of the regular size one. Yeah, we can do that. If I find my mobile, it's probably somewhere around the sofa. Let's see. Is that mobile still running? I found a mobile here. Okay, it actually works. So let me get that mobile back and move back here into the plush fortress. Getting cozy here, right? So you wanted a close-up of the regular sized one. So that's it. That's the face. You can always go around it. And does that help you? Is that a good thing? This mobile camera is actually pretty tempting to do weird stuff with, right? So sorry for making you nauseous now. So yeah. All right, let's maybe go back to the standard cam. What else do we have? Will totally be worth it. Never saw the giant version of the Husky. You're curious. Maybe we do another fan stream at some point, where we also probably have some more news. And then we could also show some other projects, right? Just get them all in the crowd. The giant Husky was pretty rare, so yeah, it's probably... car was full with the extra large Leshy and Crossfox. Yeah, of course. Slate the Snapstorm. Yeah, that's enough. These plushies are actually very voluminous. Jim Mollier, you said that you love that we run Winston with the same colors as the original tackle, and had a smile on your face that there's another dragon coming. There was actually a few people who said like, I need another dragon, right? So when the teasing pictures made all the other options less likely, there were a lot of dragon people joining. And yeah, I really hope that you like Winston as much as our original dragon. Just felt the world is ready for another cuddle dragon. Oh, avoid, this is actually a good point. Winston could be a herbivore. Yeah, could be. Le Cube du Renard. PayPal possible for the future? No. PayPal is out. I explained it before. They do not like the way we run our business. And so we do not like PayPal anymore. Let's keep it at the short version. The long version you will see in the recording if you find it. Apparently. Just like people at IKEA trying to put the entire kitchen in their Twingo. Yeah, kinda. But the kitchen is so convenient now to use with this stove plate as a table, right? So we probably will use it in a lot of live streams. Kizupander, will we have numbers again on the plushies? Yes. We will have the serial numbers back, which means the first one who orders and pays will also get number 1, right? So there is a little bit of a fight at the beginning with early numbers, and let's see how this works with the shop system and with the different payment systems we have right now. So we will make to find a way that this is an even ground for everybody. Probably I would say if you place your order and you paid within the first 1 or 2 days, then the time of your order counts. And then just for the later orders, we make it differently also. Let's see. We will probably give you some information about that. We need a PlushLife panel at MMC. Dara Paulus, MMC. Is that Method Minicon in Germany? Because if it is, let's see. We visited MMC last year, but I'm not sure if we do it in 2023. So let's see. Raven is I'm winning the race for plush with the production number 1 this year. Well, good luck in trying. Oh. Yeah, setting up a tent. Maybe we should make a pre-order day with a PlushLife shop so people can sleep on the street and have tents on the street, right, waiting there to get their first plush in real life. It would be fun, probably, but you have to travel there. Raven is no, I don't have the giant husky within reach, because I would basically have to empty my entire bedroom to get to it, and then we need 2 people to carry it here, move the camera out of the way, move some boxes out of the way, put it here, and then the sofa is completely filled. So we need to make this a different stream and a different setup. Yeah. What is that song? We actually use a YouTube royalty-free background music thing. We could probably post a link in a chat. The giant husky would be nice. So, a tent of a plush. Yeah, that would actually be cool. Actually, if I would make something like people have to travel there and then they can get their first toys and plushies with the early production numbers, it would probably be cool to make it an event, right? Not just have people sitting on the street, but actually making this enjoyable. Can come back on the couch again. Now would be great to teleport. Foxy, yeah. It was actually really hard to hide Winston because he was already here when you visited. So we put him in a box, and this is why he's still a little bit grumpy, I guess. So we couldn't say anything. So you already were very close to Winston when you were here. Jim Moliere, thank you for the feedback. Tackle here with me since 2016. Absolutely smashed it out of the park with this dirt. Tackle goes nearly everywhere with me. Much love, thanks. Thank you, Jim. That's really, really cool feedback to hear. And I'm really glad that you are actually celebrating your toy and bring it everywhere. We're celebrating your plush, right? That's great. Ah, you're Pecky, Sarah Paulos. thank you. Now I know. So, what do we have here? Panzer Sheppy was a lucky number, 7 out of 24. Yeah, back in the days we actually wrote the number, how many there were. Now you have to kind of figure it out by yourself. Can I get a number 420 if we make that many? Yes. That's a very challenging number to be. No, it's Brad the Beast. It's not possible to request a specific number. Numbers come as orders come in. That's how it works. So you have to be fast, or you have to be lucky to get yours. Yeah, Kisu Panther, it wasn't that hard to get a small number in the early days. It's a lot more busy now, especially on the first day. We are usually completely busy for hours, right? It's a very long work day when we start our order phase. Matt Hazel, thank you for staying that long with us. If you're still listening. Still reading your chats. Foxly Fox, I was actually pondering commissioning Foxfur for Dragon, and then this project shows up. Perfect. Yes, you can now have as many Winstons as you want. You have Leshy number 8, Nimantu. Congrats. A very lucky number to get. Akita boy, the cross fox is lying on my bed and the dragon has to come too, otherwise he's so alone. Yes, don't let your plushies be alone if you go out. You have snap number 20, Kevin Marr. Very cool. Plushies will be numbered as usually. Yes, Foxfur, indeed. Oh yes, and then there was the Giants. And the Giants, if you don't know, Avoid, thank you for making this comment. With the Giants, we decided to go with Roman numbers. And so the Giants can actually have a double X, which means 20. So yes, Avoid, you got an evolve number 20 in Giant. Production number 16 for Leshy? No, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. You were one of the fastest. Weird question, how tall am I? Oh, that's actually pretty hard because I need to translate that in imperial units. I'm 174 centimeters. Maybe if you do 174 centimeters in inches in Google, it will tell you the feet and inches and stuff that I always translate metric units to. Snap number 17 and Wolf number 17. What are the odds? Foxly Fox? Very high, so pretty good. How many wolves were made? A lot. I can't just say that much. A lot. Yep. Blixen 427. My wolf was 205. Yes, and that's not the highest number. Zotix 69 would be possible then. Zotix, yes, it is. Good luck. Not everyone is impossible to custom order them. Is it impossible to custom order them? We will only make the ones available, which is this year already a lot of variety. But the way PlushLife works is that we have a fixed set of what is available because we need to communicate that with the factory. And that means basically that we have to limit the variance to something that is workable for them. So this is different from maybe a fursuit maker who makes one fursuit exactly to your specs. But even with a fursuit maker, you usually get their standard head base, right? And just basically a different skin and a few features. And so we basically have to work in the same way, just on a bigger scale. So custom orders are not possible with PlushLife. If you want a completely custom plushie or something customized, you need to go to a custom plush maker like Foxfur and all the others. And they will just hand sew it, so you have to get in a queue, you have to discuss with them. They will only do what they feel up to. So that's the limitation there, right? And with us, you get as many as you want in a pretty good delivery time, but in the fixed set that we offer, which is 16 different versions this year. As many Winstons as you want. I could have put more than 5 Giants once, but my boyfriend wouldn't allow me to live with him if I told him I bought 5. So I get 1 Giant and 1 normal. Laurentine, this looks Laurentine. This looks really responsible. together with your boyfriend. Mine also has to live with all this plush army here, and sometimes it's hard. Yeah, but it's also cozy. He kind of wants one on his own as well. So, yeah. So happy with my Leshy number 153 Spotty Tiger. Very cool. It's actually pretty cool to see some of the numbers showing up in here. So, more numbers, a lot of numbers. Can you still breathe if the giant dragon lies on top of you? That's actually a very interesting thing, since this weight is not like a handlebar, right? Or a dumbbell or something that is like focusing this weight on one single spot. But actually it's a soft, big, giant surface that pushes on you very evenly and very muffled. This can be a really cozy and very surprisingly pleasant feeling to have a very heavy plush on you. So maybe some people in the chat who are in, who kind of like this stuff can tell you how this feels. But there's a lot of people who really enjoy the weight, and some actually added weights inside the plush, which is very easy to do with the zippers, right? So you can add these wristband weights and stuff that you usually find in athletics, just to have a more heavy plush on you. And yes, you can still breathe. It's actually very simple. It gets really warm, but it also gets really muffled, and it muffles the outside from you. So this is really good if you just want to ooze out and not hear anything about the rest of the world for a while. This is a really good way to do it. Can't wait to see the boys at NFC. I'll bring my big husky with me. Yes, please do that. It's always cool to see the plushies from other people carried over the convention, so I really love that. My overstuffed now really does get that heavy. Yes, you can actually make them heavier by stuffing more in there. Some people like it really soft, some people like it really firm, and this of course also affects the weight. Go 260, yeah, let's, who knows? Winston, William, what was? Yes, Foxfur, you are free to, end your day. You can also unmute yourself and just say goodbye to the group. It's late. I have to say, since I got a plushie from you guys, getting out of bed has gotten much harder. Okay, yeah, a word of warning here. If you get a plushie from us, they have something that we call bad gravity, right? And they are like generators for adding bad gravity to your bed. And that means you basically have the issue that in the morning, you need additional willpower to actually get out of this bed, out of this comfy zone of yours into the day. So yeah, this can happen, and that is actually very intense. So yeah, these things are actually bad gravity generators. That's how I call it. Yeah, Tintoro, weight blanket over 2 million. Is it 2 million or 20 million? Yeah, 2 million. Yes, so there's actually weight blankets. So blankets that are weight, that have additional very heavy materials in there just to push you down and give you this intense feeling. More plans to really snatch a plush in the first minutes. Let's really see how it goes. Might also be interesting how our shop system reacts to the sudden incline of orders. More tips from Tim Duro on how to get comfy in a very giant bed with a giant blanket. Good idea. It's great to watch the reveal of another dragon on Puffy Paw Zenith. He's back. Okay. You're all doing an amazing job. Thank you very much. Yes, we felt it's time for another dragon. Okay, if I can read this name, Alice Layern. Thank you very much as well for joining the stream. And yes, thanks to Foxfur as well. His presentation was amazing, right? Goodbye, Foxfur. Yes. Two spots. I just love seeing people disappear under the plushies we bring with us. When we have to look and set person and find them under and after a good long while. Yeah. So you bring plushies and people are just disappearing, and then you're like lifting your plushies and you're like, ah, there you are. That's exactly what happens here. So on the sofa there's usually a lot of PlushLife plushies, and if you have guests, the guests just disappear. 20-second delay on the stream. Yeah, sorry, Foxfur. This is just the stream. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny when we started the stream and tried to review it and tested it. You can see the screen, but it's like 20 minutes or 20 seconds delayed, and so you should never stare too long and wait until you see what you have done, because then for 20 seconds you just freeze for everybody else. So that's something that every streamer is totally used to, but if we are just streaming like once a year, of course we have to get used to that stuff all the time. Spotty Tiger, my Leshy is also great motivation to keep going. Yeah, I think that's also true, right? They make sleep more comfortable, but they also give you a calming moment whenever you need it, and that allows you to go back into what stressed you out and finish it. And that's something that I really like about giant plushies that are like your companion, because that really, they kind of dampening like stress spikes and really allow you to fulfill your goals, even if it gets a little harder, right? Raymond as yeah, you wanted a dragon so bad. Glad you like our new project. Nice, and I get the mark here. We are at 90 minutes. Pretty good, and we still have 40 people in the chat. So, pretty nice. Laurentine, you just found PlushLife early this year, and now hoped for a PlushLife reveal, and now you're sold. That's great. It's really good. Yeah, the Wolf actually brought us a lot of attention that we didn't have before, right? There's also a lot of people who are eyeing the first project we ever made, the Shepherd, because by today's standard, it's actually very rare, right? It's just 24 pieces that we made of this, plus the 5 pieces that that we had for PlushLife themselves. And this is actually pretty rare, yeah. So, and back in the days, it was really hard to actually get to find us, right? Because we just started. We tried to be loud. We tried to be as loud as possible, but still people didn't know if they throw this money at us, will they actually get a plushie, or if we are just a scam. And so the first 24 people actually dared to put this money in us, and yeah, they now own one of these super rare plushies. That is the PlushLife Shepherd. And yeah, with the Wolf, we got a lot more attention than that. And this is actually really great. I'm really happy about how the Wolf turned out. It's a beautiful plush. And so, yeah, now we are on our next reveal, and I hope you like the dragon as much. Dollar? Furry Wolfie, whatever. Furry Wolfie, thank you for staying with us till the end. Yeah, you'll probably also not elongate it, so if there is not any more pressing questions, at some point we can slowly fade out of the live stream. So if you have any questions left, this is probably a good moment to tell them. Otherwise we can, maybe give it another 5 minutes and then slowly fade out of the stream. That's a cool idea. So, Villian, who is sitting behind the laptop and managing the stream really amazingly, actually, so maybe give Villian some kudos for actually handling the stream and all the scenes and the very tricky software and camera systems we have flawlessly. And he said for closing the stream, he would like to play the reveal video one more time. So do you guys want to see the reveal video one more time before we close it? Fenmar, you ordered a shepherd and saw it at EF and needed a giant plushie. Yeah, EF was when we actually teased it. That was also our way of testing the waters, if this is something that actually works. And the result was really amazing, and so we decided, okay, we go with this, we try this out. So yeah, you were one of the first. It's really cool. Very Wolfie. Yeah, your PlushLife plushies catch a lot of your tears when you were down, and I hope they got you back up, because that's sometimes it's just needed, right? Fanmode, there was no one before making plushies in such size and quality. Yes, and that is exactly why we started. We were plush fans before, and we then realized there's high quality plushies made in Germany, but they all were styled like in 1910, right? This was all designs from the early days. And we are like, well, we have fursuits. This is great. This is super nice design and style. How about we combine great made in Germany plushies with big size and nice design in a new way? And this is exactly how we did it. So we got the chat here. Yes, you all want to see the video one more time. Thank you. A lot of buys here. Have a nice evening. Okay, so I would say we end the stream by now. You have seen the giant one, you have seen the standard sized one, you've seen the highlight colored one, and with one I mean Winston, our new cuddle dragon. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying with us till the end, and for all your nice and warm messages. And by that I would say, let's jump into the video one more time and then wish you all a good night. Thank you very much and goodbye.